Hi, this is Shawn Powell. I wanted to take a second, just like at the beginning of a lot of my videos, I want to show where we're sitting at for the day in Bitcoin. Sitting at 75.44 at this moment. 75.90 is the day's high, which is an all-time high, for Bitcoin altogether. It is November the 5th, so we're looking at the fork coming pretty soon. But I think we're going to see a lot of growth before it gets there. I think it's going to have a dip down. Some people are going to jump aboard. Mainly the people jumping aboard are going to be the ones who, in my opinion, are the ones who feel like they missed a boat and they're hoping it's going to go down. But with it climbing so much like it is now, I just don't know how much of a dip it's going to be. So to be perfectly honest, the ones who's thinking they should jump in now is probably not going to make that big of a difference as opposed to when the dip takes place. And to be honest, after it dips, it's going to go skyrocketing back up. I think the end of November is going to be incredible, right on up through December. I think it's a perfect time to be doing Bitcoin. So absolutely. What this video is going to be about, y'all, is, and this is something that when I first got in USI Tech, I wasn't really sure which would be better. For me, just to purchase Bitcoin in large amounts of it and just stack it and just hold it. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't understand what would be better between that or using USI Tech and then putting my Bitcoin into that to see, to see which is which. So what I want to do is I want to explain to you more thoroughly. And in the process, I've got a couple of different strategies. Now, I made a long video. It's 4 winning strategies for USI Tech. And I used a calculator to show what was basically, I consider all 4 winning ways of having a strategic way of thinking and planning about Bitcoin. And growing your Bitcoin inside of USI Tech. So if you want to watch that, that's fine. I will cover all 4 of this in this video, but they're going to be really short term, and so I don't make a really long video in the process. Just to let you know what I'm personally using inside of USI Tech, y'all. It is Power Lead Systems. That's how I got free from a job. May 7th, 2015. I came in on a business the last week of October 2014. So I was able to get free from a job in 6 months. And Power Lead Systems was paying me as well, but really I was making more money just using my tools in Power Lead Systems for other primary businesses. And then I got paid from this. I was making $900, $1,100 a week with Power Lead Systems. And that wasn't even including my primary businesses where I was making $12,000, $13,000 a month, rounding up to $40,000 a month, focusing it on my primary. And what I'm doing now is basically the exact same thing I've been doing the entire time. This is a sales funnel I created just for myself in USI Tech or in any business with Power Lead Systems. You can make your own content. I find that a great way to kind of show your personality. And then on top of that, you can be the one explaining the video stuff. It's a great way for you to brand yourself, which is the number one thing you can ever do in a business. And I'm going to make this real quick, y'all. This is one of 19 different landing pages I personally created. I've got a share code for Power Lead Systems. And I take these, I'll connect it to a sales funnel that we have that is a freaking, excuse me, it is a freaking Bitcoin making machine, to be perfectly honest. And out of the 40, how many people I sponsored? I sponsored 15. I sponsored 16 yesterday using just my landing page and the sales funnel, which you already got the landing pages already connected to it. It is a beast of a way to get members in. I don't do any paid advertising. I've always used Facebook and YouTube only, and that's always worked really well for me. But I like to show people credibility where due, just showing that if people have a chance to connect with me before they go see the sales funnel, that's a great sales funnel, and you got a business that's free, it's going to work. Out of yesterday, I think out of 42 leads, I wound up sponsoring 14 at that time frame. Yesterday, I literally stayed on the couch all day long. I took a break. Me and my little boy, he's 10 years old. He loves zombie shows and movies. So we've been watching The Walking Dead all day long. I was very lazy. I don't have many days like this, but it was really a good day just because he's old enough now. He's starting to really enjoy that. So I am sure I could have sponsored a whole lot more if I would have stayed focused on Facebook. And I made no videos at all the last couple of days, so that definitely would have helped as well. So applying action is definitely the answer. Okay, y'all. So when it comes to USI Tech and talking about Bitcoin itself, let's just talk Bitcoin right by itself for a minute, okay? Let's say you come in and you buy 1 Bitcoin itself. 1 Bitcoin is 1.00 Bitcoin. Okay, great. You're sitting there and you're holding that 1 Bitcoin. Now, if you wanted to trade, you could go somewhere like GDAX and set up an account and trade up and down all day long. I would say that people are trading. If you're looking at trading, one of the better strategies is to let's say use one Bitcoin, hold it, and forget about it. Don't even act like it's there. Don't care if it goes up and down. Don't sit there and study it because you just, to be honest, I'm not even really worried about it. If I was just holding and going to forget about it for 6 months or a year or 2 years or something like that, I think you know that you're going to be probably okay with that, right? So there's one strategy. But another strategy is people will usually buy one Bitcoin, hold it to the side, and then maybe purchase another Bitcoin. And this Bitcoin will be the one that they buy and sell with. You see what I'm saying? So they leave one alone and then they build it with the other one. That's a strategy I've seen. A lot of people have recommended that, and just learning, to how to set up, excuse me, for trading, sitting here setting up your averages, and this one I got set at 13 candles, and that one set at 34. So I can watch, and then I sit there and watch as this go up, and when it gets a large point away, that would be a good time, to sell. When your 13 average on your candles is way up a high, as opposed to the bottom level, you really want to start watching it. When it crosses over, which lately it took a little while to get back to this way, you see down here, this is when you're actually buying. When you see this dip averages going down, and that's when when you start to see this as a really far dip right here, that's a good time to be buying. And when you get that really far in between it, that's a really good time to be looking at possibilities for selling. So if I was doing Bitcoin and you're looking at a really moody, down here at 73.47, and now we're sitting at 75 with a peak of almost 7,600, and the same, in just a few hours apart, then if I had that Bitcoin, I was selling and trading. That's where some of that money could come from. So there's two strategies right there that you could use for Bitcoin itself. So, but the thing is, you didn't get more Bitcoin really. In other words, I'm still sitting at 1.0 Bitcoin. That's what took me a little while to understand in USI Tech. What's the most magical and most beneficial thing about USI Tech is the fact that I might start with one Bitcoin, so we're both at the same level, but this one is going to increase my Bitcoin. It's not increasing the amount of money because Bitcoin's the one that's increasing the overall. What this is increasing is the amount of Bitcoin I have. Okay. Now, how did you do that? Well, first of all, if I'm locking in and I'm not touching it, and it's just like it was sitting here, to be perfectly honest, there's no difference. I'm not doing anything with it, it's just sitting there, right? So if it's holding here, and then here I'm holding at 1.0, well, it's starting to pay me back out. I could take that money immediately and put it back in my pocket if I wanted to every day. That's paying out that 1% or average doesn't mean it's exact 1%, but somewhere really close to that. Maybe 0.8 one day or 1.2 the next day, so it's still going to average out pretty closely. But what happens is I get not just that 1.0, I get 1.4% time it's all said and done because it has increased the amount of Bitcoin I have. Okay, so even at the 1.4, which is the least you can make, let me explain that to you in calculating terms. I'll show you this. Let's go down to, we'll just do 1,000. I think that's the most common. These are 1,000 euros. So if I say dollars in it, please understand it's just calculators using euros, and I've got the last 2 years using dollars in my calculation. So if I say it wrong, I apologize right here before advancing. I do that at times. I will apologize. So you're looking at 1,000 euros, which is going to give you 20 BTC packages, right? So you're starting off with 20 BTC packages. So let's say that 20 BTC packages are the exact same amount of whatever this Bitcoin's here going to be, right? Just sitting there holding it, doing nothing else. Okay, well, starting on day one, you can really start pulling money when it starts to come out, right? So at day 70, you're sitting at 1950, so it doubles up right here. And then at day 140, okay, at day 140, it really completes itself. And the reason I know at day 140 it completes itself is because you see a dip right here. It goes from 79 down to 59. So that's where your actual BTC packages have reached its full amount. It has reached 1.40 for every BTC package that you started off with. Those first 20, right? So you started with 20, you got to 79. Those first 20 are going to drop off. So every day, if I'm pulling it and putting in my pocket every day, then that's what's going to happen. Now, with that being said, I still finished with 1.4 in Bitcoin as opposed to that 1.0 sitting here. And I won't go pull from this one. Remember, it was just going to be sitting there in the, or the same equal amount. So here I am with 1.4% compared to that, just that same 100% sitting here, 140% compared to 100. That's a big difference in Bitcoin. If this Bitcoin right here would have gone up 30%, and to be perfectly honest, y'all, a week ago we were sitting at 6,300. Now we're sitting at 7,500. So it's pretty safe to say it could go crazy like that, right, in a short period of time. So if you really think about it, y'all, not only did this one go up 30%, no more Bitcoin, just the amount that it's worth. Well, what do you think the 1.4% of Bitcoin is going to do? The exact same thing. So that's what took a little while for me to figure out, was the fact that it was not that USI Tech was making Bitcoin more valuable. That's not possible. Well, it is because exposure is the answer, and the more people that you get exposed to buying Bitcoin, then it makes sense. And the exposure as the overall is the way it gets big. When you have the trading market world, trading world, and then you've got the online business world that gets excited, and they are all over Bitcoin, right? And then you understand all you're really doing is educating people to quit putting their money in a currency in their dollar state, in the USD dollar, and sit in the bank or in their back pocket that's not doing them any good. Why would you not want to be on this train sitting there jumping up ridiculous amounts? You understand that if I had $5,000 sitting in the bank, it's still only $5,000 for the most part. It ain't going to go 30%. It ain't going to double. It ain't going to go up 600% in a year like Bitcoin has. You got to ask yourself, if you've got hangups with Bitcoin, you don't understand Bitcoin. What is your hangup with it? You need to wrap your head around that, because I'm gonna tell you from someone with this perspective, 44 years of my life using the dollar bill. I got that. I understand that your brain is sunk in with the mentality of this. But here's the problem. Over your lifetime, I don't care how old you are, think about how much has a dollar gone down in value. Whatever currency you use, has it gone up? I bet it hasn't. I know it hasn't. You've all seen them shopping carts where 20 years ago, 40 years ago, with this amount of dollar per value of that day, how much you could fill up in that cart. Look at it today, y'all. I know I see the difference. I use the Dollar General near my house. I know what $30 looks like at a Dollar General compared to what used to be $30 at a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? I'm 44 years old. I can see that. People ordered me. You've heard them stories. For a nickel, I could go watch a movie and catch a cab and get candy and popcorn. I mean, you know them old people saying stuff like that. But that's what I'm telling you. Bitcoin is blowing out in the water. So what do you really need to do is educate people on Bitcoin first. If they understand Bitcoin and they are on board with Bitcoin, then USI Tech is going to make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But I couldn't get USI Tech without wrapping my head around Bitcoin first. And a lot of y'all, listen, y'all, this is the honest truth right here. I've always in my videos talked about sacrifice, belief, commitment, things of that nature. And I sound like old school Amway. I know I do, y'all. And because of that, I get a lot of seniors into my businesses. I always have. I love my seniors, man. I love them because they don't have that mentality of try something for a week, and if it don't work, I quit. It was a scam, and I go to the next thing. And I hear that all the time, y'all. That's what young generation is learning to think. You get seniors, they're wired different. They know that, okay, I'm in this business. It's going to take a little while to build this business. Doesn't mean I don't believe in it any less. It means I need to stay focused and build my business. Where a 20-year-old, and there's some sharp 20-year-olds out there, I'm not putting it down. They're looking at, let's try it for a week. Let's try it for a month. Then call it a scam and go find another one and just keep going from business to business to business to business. A lot of times there's nothing wrong with that first business. It's just their way of thinking that's messed up. But the problem I see, and the reason you're hearing me say this now, is because I do attract a older generation usually. And because of that, they've got 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, or even more of thinking of the dollar bill. And y'all, I want you to think about it. You know the answer. You know damn well it's the value of the dollar is constantly going down. It's not getting better. It's not made for us to get rich with. It's not made for us to even stay stable, to be perfectly honest. It's not. It's based on petroleum. It's based on gold. Based on lies, to be honest. Most of y'all know that. Based on wars. Based on weather, hurricanes, things of that nature. Y'all, listen. One thing I learned, y'all, when I worked in a restaurant, when gas prices went up really bad, we always had to raise the prices in our store. Why? Because it made all the food products go up. If we had to buy pork for the restaurant I used to work in, Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue, well, if it costs more gas to get there, what do you think is going to happen to the price of pork? It's going to go up. If the trucks are delivering cost more gas to get there, what's going to happen to the products? They're going to go up. Here's the thing, y'all. When that price in that restaurant went up, you know what didn't go back down? When the gas prices went down, that did not drop. It didn't lower the price of that product. So it inflated overall the cost of eating at restaurants. So what happened to your dollar bill, y'all? See what I'm saying? Inflation alone is a terrible thing. Bitcoin is the answer because it's not based on gas or things that's happening around us naturally. It's not based upon petroleum. It's not based upon wars. Only thing we really got to do is be smart enough to understand that we're the ones building it ourselves. It's not, you hear these big companies, and you've seen it, y'all. Anybody's been watching Bitcoin, where this guy will come out and say, "Oh, it's the biggest scam, Bitcoin, blah blah blah. It's a huge bubble. It's going to pop soon, blah blah blah." And you hear that, right? What happens? Because this big guy said that. What's the prices drop? Well, if you're smart, you'll be buying some more Bitcoin because you understand their fear factor in this. Fear mongering is actually what's taking place. Then, watch tomorrow when the price drops or the next couple of days. That business, the CEO or whoever it was talking junk about it, will be the first one to go buy $70 million in Bitcoin. It's a strategy. Y'all, exposure. The more people that's opening their mouth, social media, the more and more is talking about it. Watch the growth of Bitcoin with social media. They marked it off the last 4 years. It is incredible. Within like 10% margin from being exactly when they sit there, they got machines that can sit here and observe how much of any topics being mentioned. Bitcoin grew perfectly with exposure to Bitcoin. The answer is exposure. The more we make it big, the more we sit here and watch this bad boy go crazy. And it is, y'all. It is. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. 7,500 plus for Bitcoin, y'all. We haven't missed a boat. But what happens then is all these major companies start announcing they're going to come in. And because they announce it alone, what happens? Watch it. It goes crazy. Y'all, you understand that I'm talking about USI Tech. This video is for USI Tech. But y'all understand that really it's USI Tech is Bitcoin steroids, to be honest. Bitcoin's the most beautiful thing out of all of it, to be honest. I'm not putting out USI Tech. I think it's an incredible business. It's made 18 millionaires since March. It's only November. It's ridiculous. But you've got to wrap your head around Bitcoin for you to really be able to get USI Tech. And that's what I had to do. And my seniors who are not used to thinking of Bitcoin, some entity that is its own entity, not based on petroleum, not based on this. You got to learn to think the right way. And that's really, to be perfectly honest, it's what I want to do in my next videos because I've got to teach that generation. I know how a lot of you are thinking because I thought the same way. I'm telling you, you do this and you won't go back. I'm going to show you something, y'all. Just give me 2 seconds. I apologize. You waiting here. Coinbase. Okay, I pulled money from Coinbase. Let me log in. We'll take it a second. Okay, I pulled a lot of Bitcoin from Coinbase, right? Let me show you something. I left 0.0087 in here, which is real small. It's real small, y'all, right? So I left 0.0087. If I want to go see reality, what's that actually worth? Just a little bit I left over, just a few dollars. This was $37. $37 sitting here. Look at it now. I think of that as the ones that are sitting there saying, I don't have no money to put in this. Y'all, it's not the matter of money putting it into this. It's the matter of ratio that you're getting in the process for the money that you do have. If you don't have much money, $65 is a hell of a lot better than 37. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to have one whole Bitcoin. All you got to do is realize everything I'm putting in is giving me percentage ratios. It's not going down. I'm not deflating. That's that's what Bitcoin is that you're missing. If you're 70 years old and you've always had the dollar bill, I understand you have a hard time wrapping your head around it. But I'm telling you, this right here has done more for me. I am glad I left something in here so I can go here and see realization as to what's happening with Bitcoin from a small dollar perspective. I think a lot of times when it's big percentage, you're like, oh, well, look, of course it is. Look how small this percentage is. This is a very small percentage. Point zero. This would not even be 1 cent of a dollar. Yet 37 compared to 65 is crazy. That's crazy. All right. I really wanted you to make sure that you understood that part. So I hope y'all really get this. I don't think I've seen anybody take the time to explain it. I'm very detailed and elaborate. Some people like that, some people don't. I apologize. But I want to get my point across because I think a lot of y'all, this is going to get you in the starting gates. This is going to put you in USI Tech saying, you know what? I get it now. And that's what this video needs to be for. 4 strategies. I will be covering this real quick, y'all. Real quick. Number 1 strategy, go ahead and get as much BTC package as you want to start off with. It's going to be euros, so whatever dollar it is, just go into that. I'm still telling you this, at least for now. It might change. Well, I can't show you that. I can show you just proof of income, y'all, or proof that I'm repurchasing. 79 is down here. I bought 89. I bought here. One more I got here. All these rebuys right here are from commissions I've made and me just rolling it over. I'm a practice what I preach kind of person. I roll everything over. The only reason it has any gaps over here is because they had took the website down, brought up a new one, and it wasn't showing, and I was a little scared to try to purchase rebuy at that time. Excuse me, because I was scared that it might fall into a little loophole or something, and I mind it'd just be better off for me to wait to see it more stable from where they were syncing from one website, the old one, to a brand new one. Okay, so that's really the reason I did it. But I want y'all to see I'm a practice what I preach kind of person, and you'll hear me talk about that, what I'm personally doing inside here. Okay, so 1,000 euros gets you 20 packs every day. If you want to purchase, that means you're getting about a 1% average. This is not including downline or of any sorts, just you by yourself. That 1% every day means that at day 100, you are going to wind up getting all that first percentage. You see what I'm saying? You got 100% at a 1% average, somewhere in the ballpark. You're going to reach that day 100. Okay? It doesn't mean it's going to be 100 days. It means it's going to reach it when it reaches it, which is probably close to 100 days. Now, but it don't quit paying you. You got the other 40%. So the next 40 days, it's going to be averaging the exact same ratio. And then you get that 140% in due time. And that's where I'm talking about. So instead of that 1.0, that same amount that you would have had sitting here, you're looking at 140% here. So it's also, while Bitcoin's going crazy, and you wouldn't have been buying or you wouldn't have been doing anything with this anyhow, but sitting here, this just makes more sense. Just common sense, y'all. 140% is better than 100%, period. So that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2, y'all, is going to be doubling your Bitcoin. Okay, this is realistic right here. What do you want to do? I have 70 working days, which is 98 days. I left this up here for a reason. If y'all come into my business, just ask for if you want to come in USI Tech with me, or if you want to come into USI Tech and Power Lead Systems with me, or if you want if you're already in USI Tech but you just need Power Lead Systems, then if you come through here, I'll be sending this to you. Yeah, you've got this actually at my website. I'm sorry, my Facebook, um, personal Facebook account also at my Facebook group. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Sorry. So anyhow, so if you need that, you can go there and ask for it, and I'll give it to you there as well. Okay. So option number 2 is going to be we are going to hold without letting go the money. So in other words, when every day it goes by for the first 70 days, remember now, we started at 1,000 right here, right? So we got $1,000 we put into it. Day 70, okay? If you notice at day 71, we've gone to $2,000 sitting here. All right. Now, at this time, when you reach that 2,000, then start pulling. So what does that mean? You want to make every dollar that you've made, every percentage, all those 1% percentages, and roll it back into the business to get you more BTC packages, which is more percentages of Bitcoin. This is what this wouldn't allow me to do. Bitcoin won't allow me to add more Bitcoin. This is adding more Bitcoin. Okay? You haven't lost anything because Bitcoin in general is the ocean itself. This is just floating up there. See what I'm saying? Bitcoin itself is still the increase itself. We're just getting more Bitcoin. Now, at day 70, so after you've held off for a little while, now you're saying to yourself, okay, I need to start paying some bills. I need to start pulling something out, right? If this is the choice you choose, is strategy number 2. So you start pulling a small percentage. Or you could pull larger percentages and then go ahead and get all 1,000 back, and then you'll still have that other 1,000 basically that's rolling over the entire time. But what I would suggest you doing at day 70 in strategy 2, is to start pulling, let's say 20%. So every 1% you get, 20% of that 1% you would put in your pocket, up to maybe 25%, and let everything else roll over. So now you're putting money in your pocket while still blowing the doors off of the one Bitcoin sitting here that you had here by itself. Now you're getting money back. It wouldn't have been great if Bitcoin would say, you know what, after 70 days, you're not going to lose any. We're going to continue to add some, but you start to put some in your pocket. Because that's really what this is doing. So you take day 70, start pulling that small percentage out, and let it keep going, and it's not going to shoot yourself in the foot. It's a ball that's now rolling. It's like you let this snowball get big, and now it's starting to go. Okay, so that strategy is solid. It'll work for you. Strategy number 3, I told you I'm not going to put much time into this, right? I don't want you to, I got another video that explains a lot better than this. Strategy number 3 is going 140 working days, 196 days. So you start off with that 1,000 again. Let's go all the way down to 140. I want you to check out what happens here, y'all. At 140, we got to 39.50 right here, right? 39.50. Now, to be honest, it's full 100%. But what's going to happen here is that first 1,000 is going to drop off. Why? Because you got paid the full 140%. There's 140 days at a 1% average. You cannot get more money off of a BTC package than the 140%. You cannot. So what's going to happen? It's going to be dropping off. The question is, what are you doing with that money during that time frame? Are you putting it in your pocket? Are you waiting to put it in your pocket? Or are you rolling it back into all of it the exact same way that you would have been doing if you'd been having it that Bitcoin sitting over here, like I keep saying? It's just sitting here. Now, the difference is you are sitting at 3,000. You've already used all that first one, so that 400% is now 300% in the pocket. Good. Now, what are you doing, y'all? You're talking about a ridiculous amount of income. You can start pulling much larger percentages, put it in your pocket, and this bad boy is going to continue to grow because you're at a 300% increase. You see what I'm saying? So, if I wanted to at this point right here, I could start on that next day taking every percent I got out of it. And guess what I'm going to have, y'all? I'm going to have 3 times as much Bitcoin. If I bought 1.0 Bitcoin here, I've got 3.0 Bitcoin here, and all I've done is just repurchase the profits I was making off of them for them doing Forex trading with the money that we're making, and that's it. And again, more Bitcoin, 3 times as much, as opposed to that one. And if this bad boy here goes up and doubles, what do you think the 300% is going to do? That's what people don't get. That's why I keep telling you this. It's not that Bitcoin's going up or down that's really going to make a difference inside of USI Tech. USI Tech can't control that. What they can control is the amount of Bitcoin that you have. The amount of Bitcoin, not the value of Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin. Okay? And that's where that comes from. So that's what USI Tech is really all about. Here is a fourth strategy. Now, personally, I do the fourth one. Okay, but I'm in online business. I'm very confident that I open my mouth, I'm gonna get out and get seen. I brand myself. It works. It works for me, right? I'm tickled to death at that. Thank God I've got that. This is what I do for a living. What am I going to do? I don't touch the money. I roll everything over, right? This is what I started off with, y'all. Let me show you real quick. Let me count it off, matter of fact. So I've got 79, that's 80, that's 169, 170, 72, 74, 79, what's that? Well, 184, 186. So I got 187 BTC packages. 187 BTC packages that I've gotten right now, right? So what am I doing personally, y'all? I'm taking every dollar I make from everybody, commissions, everything, and I'm putting it back in this machine. And I'm getting as many BTC packages. This is my way of sponsoring and getting Bitcoin. I don't have to put no more money in. I put $10,400 into BTC packages. It's just better than buying Bitcoin, right? We already discussed that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to let this ball roll for at least the first 90 days. Now, at about 90-day point, that's just 3 months for me realistically. I'm talking about real 90 days. Then I'm going to start pulling from commissions that I'm making from sponsoring. Now, what that does is it keeps that ball going like crazy. I built up one heck of a ball by that time. And on top of that, y'all, excuse me, it's not going to quit. It's just self-perpetuating. Think of how much Bitcoin is going crazy over here in the process. Now, you already know that I'm going to get a 300% increase right by itself. Imagine if I got every dollar I've got built up for the next 3 months from sponsoring is going into that. And here I am using a freaking sponsored machine cell phone. And like I said, does it work? Oh, yeah. Absolutely it works. See what I'm saying? 16 members right here in the last 24 hours. And that's all I'm using. So I know what they're going through and seeing, right? Now, at that point where I start pulling out commissions, if I'm making 100 a day or 200 a day, what motivates me is, I'm talking about just referral commissions, right? Because they're getting in on board, they're jumping on board, they're getting big in their business. Why would they go big? I went big in my business. People who go big in their business are way more likely to get people to go big in their business than the ones who start up for free and then tell people how great it is, but they don't lead by example. Excuse me. But they don't lead by example. You've got to practice what you preach, and you got to lead by example. Going big, y'all, I don't want you to get caught up on this because some people think there's an issue with this. Going big doesn't mean you got to go $10,000. Going big means you're going big with the amount you've got. That's what I would do. Whatever that amount is. I could afford to do $10,400. And you got to realize, when I purchased the $10,400, when I put that money in the Coinbase for BTC packages, I hadn't sponsored anybody. So again, I practice what I preach. I believe in the business. I don't do a business if I don't. I sure as hell ain't putting $10,000 into something that I don't believe in. I can tell you that. And how do I know there's 10,000? Because you can look right here. What is that? 4,760, 5,371. I added this one up here as well. And then I turned around. I got a 3,300, or I got some big commissions recently. And I rolled it back over into the business. So I'm getting as much as I can back into the business. So what am I doing? Leaving it alone. Let that bad boy build as much BTC package as I can get. I want to get as much Bitcoin as I can get built. And I may not even touch that for a long time, y'all. It's just like sitting here, except getting more of it than just sitting here, and like it was in Bitcoin. And then what I can do is I can start taking some of the commissions, start putting in my pocket. If I wanted more commissions, then I better go out there and start sponsoring more people. and that motivates me. If I want to make $500 a day, I know I'm making that with the money I've got rolled. I got that, but that's not the point. I want to make it $500 a day from referral commissions. How do you do that? By sponsoring people. Be realistic. If I'm making 150 a day and I want to make 500, well, I know I better put my butt in gear. And that's how I look at it. That motivates me to make more videos. That motivates me to, so then I've got a way now that I'm getting paid to build my Bitcoin. And in the process, y'all, remember I told you about Power Lead Systems, right? This right here is part of the sales funnel. I would highly suggest using this sales funnel. It has sponsored over 10,000 people in it. It is a beast. I can already tell you that. It's been recently updated to match all the new changes. And people that go through and use Power Lead Systems, y'all, let me just let you know, this right here, y'all, this is only a small portion. These are all $400 commissions. I was getting 2 a day at times. There's something called Diamond. I got over 200 diamonds in the first. Let's see if I can show you that real quick, y'all. I got an image of that up here too. Okay, if you look right here, y'all, it says income over 200 diamonds for me now. This is literally me getting 2 diamonds a day. They're $100 commissions. 147 one time, you get 125 of it goes back to the people. It's absolutely incredible. I started getting diamonds my first week in. I wound up getting 200 diamonds in the first 2 years. That was better. I was getting 1 out of every 3 people I sponsored that went diamond. And I teach people how I do stuff like this. I've got a whole training section, believe me, a whole playlist here for Power Lead Systems. And y'all, I can tell you, I make a lot of videos on training and things like that. So if you ever get in Power Lead Systems, I'm gonna tell you, you need to hook up with me down here. I'm also one of the trainers inside of Master Training Institute, which is a $1,000 commission that's coming out in December for Power Lead Systems. So if you want to, just get some of my credibility, I do have credibility in Power Lead Systems. It is a great, great business to be in. And though I'm usually do not use Power Lead Systems as my primary business, I'm always usually linking it directly with another business, USI Tech or something like that. And you're talking about real residual income that you could be putting in your pocket the entire time. So I'm talking 900, 1100 a week average for me. That is just on the backside, not including referral commissions that I'm putting back here. And then I'm still got this huge snowball by now that's starting to roll over and just continue to build me Bitcoin. So I'm getting Bitcoin wealth at the same time while pocketing money at this well. And I paid all my bills. $1,100 would pay everything I got in a month's time, and I'm still sitting good. This is how freedom is made, y'all. To be perfectly honest, being strategic, being very clear, focusing how to get out to people, focusing at the businesses you believe in. Quit jumping from business to business to business, and then just get it done. Get the work done. Brand yourself in the process, and it'll change your life. All right, y'all, this is going to end this video. I hope this helped a lot of y'all who did not grasp Bitcoin to get a better understanding. I hope y'all understand that USI Tech does not increase the value of Bitcoin. It just increases the amount of Bitcoin. And us exposure itself is the way that's going to increase more for the value of Bitcoin itself. So if you're not in USI Tech, y'all, go ahead and click down below. I can already tell you that you need to go through the sales funnel and you need to be in this. 16 people out of, well, I got 14 out of 42 leads. I have not checked the leads I gotten since then, to be honest. I usually like to keep ratios, know where I'm at, for ratios and stuff like that. Most of them are coming from YouTube. I will tell you that at this moment. So it definitely works, opening your mouth, telling people what you think about your business. But the sales funnel is holding its own, y'all. 14 sponsored out of 42 people. I'm not doing even paid advertising, things of that nature. Compare that to just solo ads and things of that nature. The sales funnel's got so much to do with this. All right, y'all. So if you need it, go ahead and sign up down below. Friend me on Facebook. You need to get into USI Tech Facebook group. That's absolutely for sure. If you need Power Lead Systems, all that's down there below as well. Just go through the sales funnel, follow it all the way through the end, and once you're done, you'll have an absolute incredible Bitcoin making sponsoring machine. I can tell you that. Okay. So if you need anything, y'all, just let me know. Appreciate it.